wasn't able to find the height of the Walmart sign.
I'm pretty sure it's 30 feet.
The only thing I could find was that it said on one of the site plans that they were going to erect a sign that was about 30 to 35 feet. But I can't find anything that says it happened. And I'm pretty sure the sign permit is buried in the archives of the library somewhere. But
Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's 30 feet from the last time.
okay.
See, and I thought it was 35.
See, and I thought we gave them, or last time we gave Brahms 35 when Walmart was 30.
Yeah, it's no more than 30.
We're waiting on Doug Hall and Justin Parks.
I can't remember, with this being Zoom, do we still do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yep.
Okay.
Who's got the clown horn?
That would be my cell phone.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of knucklehead buddies texting.
Doug's trying to connect. Shane, if you want, you could start the meeting. We do have quorum, so if no one else can connect, we can still pass or approve the projects.
Okay, just want to start with adding then.
Yeah, he'll connect if he can.
Okay, like call the meeting to order. Okay, everybody ready for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag,
Flag.
United States of America,
United States of
to the
America,
republic for which
and
it
to the
stands,
republic for which
one
it
nation,
stands,
under
one
God,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
Darren, will you do the honors?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, be with us this evening as we do the business for the city and the good and the welfare of the community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, item C, this is approval of the agenda. This is a approval of the agenda for October 12th for the Planning Commission meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes. I'm sorry, the agenda.
Do you get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Jody, were you a nay? Was that unanimous or was there a nay?
I didn't hear any nays, but
My screen shut off, so I was a yay.
Okay, thank you. Item D, citizens' comments. At this point, if there are any citizens that wish to speak, they're allowed to for 3 minutes. They must state their first and last name and where they reside. And Thatcher Mahdi, fellowship intern, is monitoring the comments on Facebook. So if there is anybody who wants to comment on that, they're welcome to.
nobody on.
All right.
Give enough time, close citizen comments.
Hey, Thatcher, do you see any comments on Facebook or YouTube or anything of that nature?
There are no comments at this time that I see.
Okay.
Okay, at this point, we'll close the citizen comments.
Item E, approval of the minutes. This is to approve the regular meeting minutes for September 14th. Just a quick review, we had a sign variance request for the Goddard Outdoor Power and a sign variance request for Cloverleaf subdivision. Both of these items passed.
Make a
I'll make it.
motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll
Second,
second.
Was that a second by Commissioner Denderon or was that a second by somebody else?
By Commissioner Dennerit.
Okay, thank you.
Getting all in favor?
aye.
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 Motion approved.
Item F, Board of Zoning Appeals. This is going to be item F1, Brahms variance sign request. Quick background, on Monday, let me go ahead and move this out of the way. On Monday, July 9th, 2018, Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Store petitioned the Planning Commission for a sign variance. This variance was for the purpose of exceeding the maximum gross square feet and to exceed the maximum height for signs inside of a C2 General Business District lot. The variance was approved, but according to the code of the City of Goddard, variances have a lifespan of 180 days, after which they expire. Brahms sign variance has expired, and they are now required to petition the planning commission again for a sign variance. Analysis, under variances that allowed by Kansas law and by city subdivision regulations, you are allowed to vary the applicable dimension sign provisions of section 7102 of the Goddard subdivision regulations and certain findings of fact under Kansas state law 12-759, which you see here on our analysis continued. So in this particular case, that the variance request arise from such a condition which is unique to the property in question, which is not ordinarily found in the same zoning district. I put unique in the setback from the highway. It's not created by the property owner. The granting of the variance would not adversely affect the rights of the adjacent property owners, and it will not affect it will not adversely affect the property owners in any particular way that is readily noticeable. The marketing of certain brands, excuse me, that is a mistake there. That one is a mistake, but basically Brahms wants higher visibility being with its proximity from, and basically its distance from US 54. It is requiring that, or it's asking that the visibility of its sign might be more prominent due to speed and distance from US 54. So that, this one you just have to ignore. It will not affect health, safety, or welfare, and we did publish it in a newspaper as required and sent out letters to everyone within 200 feet, which was just simply Walmart for that matter, and Dugan, Goddard Galleria, and Dairy Queen. There was a small fee associated with publication as required, and legally it was approved as the form. A recommendation is recommended that the Planning Commission approve the sign variance request for Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Store. And at this point, we do have Chris Hampton representing the sign request from Brahms. Chris, if you do have anything to say or any statements, or if you want to answer any questions given by the Planning Commission, feel free.
I don't have any.
I'm not sure Chris heard you at that point. Micah?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Is there anything you'd like to tell us?
Okay. No, I know they had recommended it before. I think it was a logistic deal why they didn't get it done. But I know they're planning on it now. I didn't hear anything that was said before. Everything's been very broken.
Hi, sorry about that. We have two individuals that didn't see the Facebook post, and so they wanted to join the Planning Commission and speak or give a citizen's comment. It will be up to Shane whether or not we want to allow him comment at this point. I don't know if they want to comment or not, but they are going to be joining me in my office. So,
Okay, yeah, if they'd like to make a comment, I'd like to hear what they want to say.
sure, absolutely.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yes.
fine, Chris.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know when Micah started talking, as soon as somebody starts talking, then it starts getting really bad. Does anybody have any questions for me? I know that as far as going westbound on 54, I know it's a big deal to them because if you don't see that sign before you get to the intersections, it's to the east of them, that most people are just going to continue on. And I know that they do consider their business a lot of impulse buy. And so whenever people can see those signs that they tend to stop more And if they have to drive by it, then they're just going to keep on going. And I know that's one of their biggest deals. As far as like the architecture and stuff of it, I mean, it's a really nice sign. So I think it'll do nothing but help that development.
What do you happen to know what their average height is for a sign? Can you
Chris,
hear me?
is there
Chris?
an
Oh.
average site or sign height that Brahms normally does?
As soon as anybody starts talking, I can't hear it.
Let me try.
There, I heard average sign, I think is what I said. Shane, if you can
Yeah. Is there an
shake your
average-
head, yes or no?
Yeah. Is there an average height?
Okay. As far as like a sign on this, this is actually average to smaller because like a mixed use on a highway, a lot of places will actually do 50 to 75, some places 100.
Right there.
So actually, this is a smaller one for a highway like this.
Did we have a picture of this new sign somewhere
in
in
your-
our packet?
It's in your packet, yes.
Okay.
I cannot hear anything that anybody is saying. Can you guys hear each other when you're talking? You can. Can somebody call me on my phone? Because I am getting nothing on this end.
We'll see if Micah can do it.
Turn off your video and see if your audio works better. Did you hear that? I'm going to put
You
it
might-
in the chat.
You're much more adept at this than I am.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing here.
What's
Okay.
happening? You guys can't hear each other's audio?
Chris can't hear us.
Chris is having trouble.
Oh, okay.
I think he kicked out.
Well, he turned off his video. Does that help any, Chris?
Okay, I turned off the video.
Can you hear us now?
It's still breaking up a little bit, but yeah, I can hear you better.
Micah, you might have to call him and just relay.
Yeah.
Did you have citizens that want to make a comment?
Yeah, let me
Can I call one of you and then they can relay that anything that I have to say or any questions to me?
yes. Okay, so let me,
Excuse me.
I'm gonna mute you, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and call Chris right now. But you guys didn't care about the Brahms sign variance? Not particularly. You're more curious about the Goddard Baptist Church?
About what?
About the Baptist Church? You're more curious about the Baptist Church?
Yeah, we got
Okay.
that letter about rezoning.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a little bit. First, we have to go through a rezoning and then we'll talk about the Baptist Church. Yep.
Okay.
You're just gonna have to bear through the rest of it, I guess, and get a little bit more insight into how the city functions.
All right. 7.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, you can? Should I just hang up if you want to try the computer again? Okay, I'll go ahead and hang up. He said he can hear us on the computer now, so.
Excellent.
Okay.
These two individuals, citizens from the city, are more curious about the Goddard Baptist Church, so they're not here for the sign variance.
Okay.
We got Chris back on.
He's on still. I'm just asking him to unmute, and he'll go ahead and unmute in a second. He said he can hear us pretty well, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Chris-
think if people start talking fast, I think it's doing something.
All right. Well, I guess we can ask everyone to mute their microphones unless they want to speak, and maybe that'll help.
Okay. Does anybody want to start a discussion on this?
Because yeah, I mean, I see Shane talking, but I can't hear anything.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
let me
good.
just call that Zoom number. Can you tell me what the meeting ID is? Somebody?
I don't think we can say that over the. Can
Let
you
me-
text it to him, Micah, so we don't?
Yeah, I'll text it to him. Hang on a second.
Oh, 779.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. We're unable to complete your call. To speak to a customer service representative, please.
Chris, I'm gonna go ahead and text it to you right now. All right.
I see it. It's the 779.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do, and it's not. When I'm trying to call that, it wasn't letting me do it just now. There we go.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
I went ahead and muted him. We don't want that reverb.
Can you hear me, Micah?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, let me step away from the computer because it's causing reverb. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. As far as the average sign height on a highway like that, I know around here it averages from 50 to 100 feet tall. In town, a lot of the towns, 25 to 35 is a normal height. So on a highway like that, I mean, we would consider this actually a smaller than average sign.
Okay, Jamie, do you want to start the discussion?
I can. I guess I'm just curious, since the Dairy Queen's been there, their sign isn't that big and it doesn't seem to cause them any problem. And this sign's going to be bigger than the Walmart.
As far as the one on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, part of their deal is, like I said, I didn't know if anybody had heard me before. I know a lot of their stuff, a lot of their business is impulse buy. So especially with the EMC and stuff like that on it, if the people westbound especially are to pass that intersection, most people are just going to keep going. They're not going to be turning around. And I know that as far as from an advertising point, I mean, they want it to be seen just like everybody does. But I also know that like the mixed use developments, a lot of the businesses that they will have in there are more hometown, so to speak. People are meaning to go to them. And as far as this one, you're right on the highway. They're just trying to get the impulse buy-in. And like I said, I mean, it's a good looking sign. I mean, it's not just a pole sign or whatever, but yeah, it actually is a smaller than average sign for this type of development and on a highway.
I understand it's the highway, but it's also 50 miles an hour. It's not your normal speed.
Yeah. But I mean, they're sitting a couple hundred feet off the highway too. So if somebody doesn't see that, then, when they're sitting toward the eastern end, and I know there was like an old house or something to the east of it with some brush around it. And I mean, they just trying to get visibility.
I can understand the visibility,
Yeah.
but this is probably a little different situation than what Brahms is normally in. I know there's people from 6 towns around waiting for the Brahms to get finished. So it's not necessarily an impulse thing. It's
well,
they're waiting for it to
yeah.
open.
I mean, yeah, and I know that happens sometimes, but like that, I mean, they're going to get a lot more business travel wise. And I know whenever they get their business that, I mean, they're going to hire more local people, and I mean, they're just going to try to spread the love, so to speak. But I know that is a big deal on the highway is they do try to draw those people in that are not necessarily from Goddard or, West Wichita or whatever. So.
Like I said, there's people from Clearwater and Garden Plain and Andale
Yeah.
and you're going to have the ball fields. I don't know if you guys have seen the amount of people that are at those ball fields over there, but it's just outrageous.
No. Yeah.
Those things are packed.
Yeah.
That's
what I was kind of hoping to drive out there to see.
It's the setting the precedence this shortly into that thing of a sign taller than Walmart's that bothers me, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
I
like I said,
it's a great looking
sign. I mean, like right. And like the Walmart, and that's what I'm saying is a lot of the mixed use commercial developments, a lot of those are going to be, like the Walmart and stuff like that. People are meaning to go there. And I mean, they're just trying to draw more on the impulse side of it because the development, when it goes in, I mean, you're going to have strip center, people that are like if I put in a sports shop or whatever like that, I mean, it's going to be local people trying to go to those facilities as to where this one, they're trying to get the locals and they're trying to draw off the highway also. And like Walmart, especially, I mean, heck, they probably wouldn't even have to have a sign up. you know, but I mean, I
Right,
know
and
Brahms is more of a regional thing also.
Doug, do you or Jody or Darren have anything to say?
No, I think I like the sign. I think it's would be an improvement out there.
I like the sign. It's just the extra 5 feet of height.
I agree with what he's saying. When you don't know that it's there and you're just driving through town, you're just looking for some place to stop. If you don't see it ahead of time, you're probably just going to keep going to the next exit or the next place.
Jody?
okay, I'm back. I cut out again. I don't know. I
Okay.
just don't see how it's going to be that much different than Dairy Queen or McDonald's or anybody else out here. I would think Brahms would get a lot more just traffic business because of the games and kids and
I think their majority of their business is going to be that. They'll get some off the highway,
yeah.
but
I mean, Dairy Queen's, like somebody said, Dairy Queen's not hurting. Nobody else is.
and Dairy Queen's is much smaller.
Yeah, you know.
And I believe this Brahms will be also selling milk and eggs and stuff like that too. I'm assuming most of them do.
Yeah, that's what the
And
plant looks like. Yep.
Yeah, and people intentionally go to Brahms to buy those things. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't buy the impulse buy thing.
Am I still allowed to speak, or is this just
Absolutely.
discussing? Okay. Well, and I will add one thing: Dairy Queen, McDonald's, all those are national chains. This is a regional deal. So, I mean, they try to really push for their region. I mean, I'll be honest. And like I said, a lot of the McDonald's, they don't need. I mean, you know what? They don't need bigger signs. Dairy Queen, like I said, those are national chains, and this is not a national chain; it's a regional chain.
But everybody in the region knows it.
Yeah.
And they said
I mean,
there's a lot of
I
people
drive-
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I drive all the way into Wichita sometimes just to go to Brahms. So,
Guilty.
yeah.
I do the same.
So,
Man,
you
you
know,
guys are not helping me at all.
sorry. Well, I think about precedent though. You know,
Right.
I don't see a lot of difference. I mean, you know, and so if we set this precedent, then, you know, like we always talked about, you know, there's always exceptions,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
And most of your height is just the cone on top. About a
It's
third of it.
And
That's
that,
a significant
well,
portion.
exactly. And that's, I mean, to be honest, that's like the big M on McDonald's,
yeah,
you know? I mean, that's what they're trying to put out there. And that's what
Right.
people associate with. And so when they see that, and that's what I'm saying is, you know, if you're westbound especially, then if you don't see that, then you're probably not going to stop.
You get
So-
west of Goddard and there's nothing to stop at.
Right. But a lot of people on the highway don't know that, you know?
So
So
where is it at?
Oh, we lost you, Jody.
She froze.
you know, all I heard is, where's it at?
We'll give her a minute.
And that's, yeah. And then, I mean, and I don't know if she can hear me. I mean, and they do studies. Brahms with less signage, do less business. I mean, that's just a
Man.
fact.
I'll
When
be
you try
perfectly
not to
honest
do
with
the
you.
money thing, I mean, you know,
I appreciate the fact that the money you're willing to put into a sign. It's like I said, it's the precedence of setting a 35-foot
Right.
sign the next 4 people or 5 people that go in there are going to say, but you gave them a 35-foot sign.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think shortening it a little bit is going to hurt your business one bit. And like I said, there's people clamoring, and the ball fields literally have hundreds of people there all day long. Hundreds. And
Can you
everybody's
hear?
tired
Sorry.
of McDonald's. And
Can you hear us again, Jody? Just
Yeah, I'm back.
did you want
okay,
to know
you were
where
saying?
where it
Yeah,
wanted
where's
where
it at compared to Dairy Queen?
it's if I'm looking at it right, it looks like it's on the east side of the drive into Walmart. Is that correct?
It would actually be on the
West
sign
side.
would
The
actually
west
be on
side,
the
excuse
west
me, the
side,
west
I
side.
believe. Yeah.
The west side, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, that, even being that's more towards the middle of the development, would have given more chance for people to stop and turn in based on the location.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest to Kellogg along there, but
So what are we thinking height wise if it's not approved?
well, I
What would
guess
you-
I mean
You're talking. Oh.
I'm not 100% opposed. I'm just thinking, if we could maintain the 30 feet, that would sure save us potential. But
I would agree with 30 feet.
there are some benefits of being the first to the table too. So, but I was kind of in the 30-foot range. I don't know if that's a significant enough to warrant a change, or if that's significant enough to set them back. I don't know.
Jody, Doug, what do you think?
Sorry, I cut out again.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't see anything special enough about it to go above the 30 feet.
Doug,
If we're talking a matter of 5 feet, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, I understand it kind of sets a precedence, but I do understand that the Kellogg corridor is going to be changing, eventually, and speeds are just going to increase there, not go down.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Darren, your 2 cents?
I'm not opposed to the 35-foot sign. Like I said, I think it's far enough off Kellogg that unless you're standing right next to it, you'll never notice if it's 30 or 35 feet. So I'm not opposed to the 35 feet.
Okay. If nobody else has anything different to add to it, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve the variance for the additional height for the Brom sign.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay. Motion carried. Was it 5-4-1?
Yeah, unfortunately, Shane, since you're a vice chair acting as chair, you don't get a vote.
Oh, that's right. Never mind, carried 4-0.
4-0.
Well, I really appreciate your time, guys. I know this has kind of been a breakup deal on the audio, but I do appreciate your time very much, and I thank you for that.
Thanks for fighting through it with us.
Yep. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Do you guys need anything else from me?
No, sir.
Just the permit.
All right. Just to check. All right, guys. I appreciate it so much and have a great evening.
Thank you,
You
Chris.
too.
All right.
you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Item G, old business, there is none. Item H, new business, there is none. We will move on to item I. This is the staff report. The two citizens who were here left because I informed them that November 9th will be the actual time for the rezoning for the Goddard Baptist Church, and we'll go into that in a second. The Goddard Baptist Church, the first buyers of the Baptist Church have rescinded their offer and have dropped out of the process. The church is now being sold to second in line for purchasing the property. I have spoken with the purchasers of the church and they want to turn the annex next to the church into office buildings. They want to have commercial buildings along the two empty lots which are facing Main Street. And ultimately they will want to remove the church, but are not going to focus on that portion of the property quite yet. There were some individuals who called in close proximity to the church. Every time we do a rezoning, we send out letters to everyone within 200 feet. We did have some citizens call to ask about what was going to happen to church. One individual said it would be a shame if the church got demolished. Right now, we know that the Goddard Baptist Church has asbestos issues. And so it seems that the new buyers are not going to touch that yet. They are predominantly focused on the annex and then at some point tackling the church. Number two, the Rustic Creek. We have finally got the letters of credit for the city just this week, actually, not last week, but this week. The city will begin to open up bidding processes for streets, grading, water, and sewer piping. Once the bidding has completed, the city and the selected contractors will have a pre-construction meeting to designate timelines for completing the project. This project has 106 lots designated for single-family detached housing. It's just to the east of the Hopper addition, right behind the Orchelins. Number three, the Genesis. Funding for the Hampton they've wandered into a snag as the bank obviously wants certain provisions in place for financing. One of those provisions is that they want the new Hampton to have its own tax ID separate from the Genesis. So this would require a lot split. We cannot do a boundary line adjustment because that would push the tax ID onto an existing parcel. And essentially, if that parcel sold, that individual will be paying taxes for the Hampton. As this is impossible, you can't do a boundary line adjustment to create a new lot. So they're going to have to go through a lot split. They're also going to need to possibly go through a conditional use permit because all the parking that is supposed to be accommodated for that lot possibly won't fit on that lot. The only way that they can have parking for the Hampton on another lot is if the Planning Commission approves a conditional use permit. So there's two things that the Planning Commission will need to approve for the financing to go through, and that's a lot split and then a conditional use permit. At that point, I am done with my city planner report. We are on to item J, Planning Commissioner comments.
Anybody have any
I'm
comments?
assuming that, oh, yes, I'm assuming that the stuff for the Star Bond will probably be next month's meeting. Will they have that taken care of by then?
They told the bank 90 days that they will get it resolved.
Oh, okay.
So they've given themselves lots of leeway. They have to get it surveyed first. And a lot split doesn't require public notice or letters to everyone within 200 feet. So we could technically get the survey in today, and then let's hypothetically, if Planning Commission was a week later, we could consider it that week. For the financing, I think they would just need the lot split to be approved because all they really need to satisfy the bank, as far as I know, is the tax ID. To satisfy us being the city, they would need the conditional use for the parking. So conditional uses, those require additional notification. But I think for the most part, they would want to go ahead and get the lot split done first. And I don't know when they're going forward with the survey to get it surveyed to create a new lot for the lot split, but I don't know what the timeline is for them.
Would a lot split potentially put us in trouble if they ever wanted to sell the Hampton part only?
No, because that's the whole reason they want the additional tax ID. The bank wants assurances that they can sell the Hampton separate from the Genesis. Hypothetically, if the Stevens went under and the Genesis with all its marketing needed to be sold separate from the Hampton, then they could do that. That's one of the main reasons the banks wants the lot split. So no, honestly, it actually just reinforces the potential for it to be sold separately.
But would the conditional use permit follow the sale?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure on that one. It would stay, conditional use permits stay with the property. So for example, with the Hampton, since the conditional use would follow the lot, not the property owner, technically whoever bought the Genesis would have to accommodate the Hampton.
Okay. That was my only comments. Anybody else got anything?
I'm just curious, Micah, what are your 2 cents on this sign thing? Are we going to be chasing this thing for every business that tries to go in?
That's a tough call. Usually I find in the subdivision regulations, if you open a door, that door stays open. It's difficult to close a door once it's open unless we change certain or add certain provisions or change certain language. It's very possible that everyone who's set back a certain way from the US 54 will want to have a larger sign. I don't see why they want it if certain businesses have already been accommodated. But I'm not necessarily opposed one way or another. I mean, as you've seen in the agenda, it's not necessarily a pole sign.
Right. No, it's a beautiful sign. I was just curious if, and I
Yeah.
suppose we can dictate some of that too as well, right? I mean, if they're going to make a big sign, it needs to be pretty, and we can.
Correct. And that's one of the reasons for the variance why I think it's reasonable is because it doesn't allow me to simply unilaterally approve something. It allows for review before the planning commission where everyone, all points can be heard. And even if you guys do approve a 35-foot for Brahms and somebody else comes forward and said they want a 35-foot, you don't have to approve it. Each sign proposal is unique given the content and character of the sign and the location that it exists at. So there's nothing in the subdivisions that say anybody's guaranteed a variance request or a conditional use permit.
That's all I have.
Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Right.
approved.
Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you guys around next meeting, November 9th. And we'll be considering the rezoning of the Baptist church and anything else that happens to come up between now and then. So you guys have a great night and see you guys around.
All right, Micah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.